As I am making this video, mid-May, we are heavily into the hockey playoffs. There is still one Canadian team left to compete for the Stanley Cup. As part of the opening ceremonies before games, the national anthems representing the countries of the opposing teams are performed. It has always struck me, and perhaps it has struck you too, about the difference in tone between the words of the American and the Canadian national anthem. The Americans won their independence down the barrel of a gun, and the words of their anthem reflect as to how they achieved their goals, with phrases such as the perilous fight, rockets' red glare, bombs bursting in air. Canada, some 80 years later, won its independence through negotiation, discussions, debate, and it was probably spurred on as well as a result of the War of 1812. In that war, the Americans invaded the Northlands that were to become part of Canada later on two separate occasions. Each time they were beaten back, and on the second occasion they were followed and chased all the way back to Washington, where the Capitol was burned, perhaps to emphasize to the Americans that they need not extend their policy of manifest destiny in a northerly direction. The words to the Canadian anthem are, in my view, more aspirational and forward-looking. The closest reference you might find to aggression or to confrontation might be in the line, "We stand on guard for thee." Musically speaking, though, I like the American national anthem. It lends itself well to interesting and entertaining arrangements. One of my favorites, though it was controversial at the time, was the guitar rendition performed by Jimi Hendrix. More recently, and in fact only a few days ago, during one of the aforementioned hockey games, i.e. between Las Vegas and Edmonton, a country singer played guitar and performed and sang the national anthem. I was so impressed that it was my intention after the game to rewind my recording and listen to it again. Unfortunately, Edmonton lost the game, and I was so miffed that I immediately erased that recording, only then realizing that, hey, I was supposed to go back and listen to it again. We are lucky in Canada that we have two national anthems. There is the main national anthem, O Canada, plus being a part of the British Commonwealth, we also have the royal anthem, God Save the King. I am, of course, prejudiced in this area, and I find that my favorite anthems are O Canada and God Save the King. To end on a hockey note, I might say at this point, go Edmonton. But next year, I hope that I can say, go Montreal. Good night from Barrington.